Boom. Right, welcome to yet another tutorial from me. Today we're going to be discussing the feedback loop on the EFX1000. My setup here today is incorporating 3 of the old CDJ2000s. We've got a DJM800 and an EFX1000. So of course you don't need all this gear to make a feedback loop happen, but you do need an EFX1000. So this is specifically for owners and users of the EFX1000. There's a couple of good tutorial videos out there already. Notably, of course, is James Zabelia, who's sort of been noted to be the man behind, he's the man with a plan when it comes to the EFX1000. His tutorial is really good. Today I just want to take you through a couple of different ways of ending a feedback loop though, that help you keep your mixes in phase. I always find when you end a feedback loop, you generally have to press pause on your CDJ, and that affects obviously the phase of your two tunes if you're in the mix and you want to apply your feedback loop to just one of those channels. So we're going to go through that today. I'll run you through how to do a basic feedback loop as well. And let's chuck this up here we can get where you can see exactly what's going on. Cool. First of all, we've got your EFX1000. You've got what a feedback loop is. A feedback loop is an echo that doesn't decay. So that's essentially what a feedback loop is. So everything that we're going to do on here is going to be to set the parameters up so your feedback loop doesn't decay, or your echo doesn't decay. So on your depth knob here, that essentially is your decay knob when you're in echo mode. So you want to crank that right up so there's absolutely no decay whatsoever. You've got your character knob. Now your character knob seems to sort of, it dampens each echo as it goes past. So we want to kill that as well. We're going to turn that off, put that on minimum. Down the bottom here we've got the mix knob, original, effect. You want to chuck it on about 2 o'clock. So it keeps everything that's coming in nice and loud. And essentially what you're going to try and do is you're going to try and match the same volume of output as you're getting input from the CDJ. So when you don't have any audio coming from the CDJ, nobody can notice the difference. So when you're in the mix, obviously it sounds smooth. As I said, I really like using feedback loops on the fly. I like being able to mix and then trigger off a feedback loop. And I like being able to do this on the go, and I don't like having to think about presetting hot cues and worrying about my two tunes going out of phase, etc. So today's tutorial, I'm going to show you a couple of different ways to end it. I'll show you the basic tutorial, which will end it as you'll see in the Zabelia video, where he uses the pause button, and then I'll take you through one alternate way of ending of doing your feedback loop where your two tunes still run and you still get them in phase. It's really simple, and I'll take you through that in just a minute. So we've got all your knobs set up. You've got your depth on full, you've got your character on minimum, you're at 2 o'clock on there. You're going to get your tune playing. If our tune's going to play today, I think we're at the end of it. Here we go. So the tune we got in the background today is called Love Trip. It's by a couple of guys, IO and Sender. Sort of a bit of a tech house, proggy tech house monster going on there. Let's flick back further on the tune there. It's nice having a tractor, of course. You can just flick through your tunes nice and easy. And it's, of course, it's great having the needle drop function because you can do exactly the same thing on there. For today anyway, we'll go back to there. Right, so what you want to do is you're going to get, just like you would get your EFX set up on any of your different channels, I'm going to apply this effect only to channel 2. So we've got channel 2 selected on the channel selector. So channel 2 is now running through the effects unit. We've got send receive selected, and we're going to turn that on. So now what we're hearing is the signal going through the mixer, out to the effects unit and back to the mixer. So obviously it's quite obvious, really. Just thought I'd get real simple on it for those of you that are sort of wondering what's going on, or maybe you don't have an EFX1000, but you're looking at getting one. So basically what you're doing is you've got a send return that you put your EFX through. We won't get too carried away about that anyway. So you want to chuck your BPM mode on auto for a little bit, just to get the EFX in time with the tune you got playing. Tune at the moment sitting on about 126 BPM. And I'm going to sleep 8 beats. And there we go, 8 beats selected. Now I've got 8 beats selected and I know it's all like timed up. I'm going to chuck it into tap mode. So that keeps the BPM somewhat in manual mode. So when you're cutting up your feedback loops and you're doing cool things, sometimes you can confuse the effects unit a little bit and it gets the BPM wrong. So to avoid that, just chuck it in tap mode before you begin. That's real simple. So all you want to do, you want to get your tune playing. I've got a hot cue already set up here on B. You hear that there? It's on the first beat of a new bar. It's actually a little bit easier to do this without Tractor. I'm not using this method, to be honest with you, using a normal CD, but it's alright, we'll live with it today. Cool, so you want to just turn your effects on and you're just going to count it in and count it out. So we're on 8 beats at the moment. Let's chuck some more beats back into it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You see what I did there? Press the pause button and now this CDJ is doing nothing. Now once you've got your loop in there, you can turn off the effect to make sure. Now I can go like that and it's not going to get right into the feedback loop because I've turned the effect off. Just going to get that cue point set up. You can just press, boom, press B. It's all set to go and locked in for when I get out of the feedback loop. Now of course the cool thing about feedback looping is once you've got it in there and it's a looped, you can cut it up. So that's what it's all about really. Let's cut it up. And it repeats itself, it's an echo. Then you can play with the character knobs a wee bit. Etc, etc. Now jump back into your track. I've already queued up my B point. All I'm just going to need to do is turn off the effects and I'm going to press play back on the CDJ. Boom, back into it. And your track's now back playing. So that's one way to do your feedback loop. That's one way to enter it, that's one way to exit it. Of course, as you saw then, I pressed the pause button. If you've got 2 tracks in the mix at the same time, they're going to go out of phase. And you're going to have to start counting your 32s, counting your 64s, try and get everything flowing properly. And really don't want to do that. So, what I've got a solution to that. Also a good thing to note, once you've turned your effects off, you're going to want to get rid of the decay and you're going to want to give it 8 beats because there's still 8 beats worth of that loop in there. So you want to get that out of there, get out. So you just turn that off. We're going to chuck send and receive back on. And we're going to go back up as we always did. And I'm going to enter this loop and I'll show you exactly what I'm going to do here. Now there, I killed the input level to the EFX1000. So we can no longer hear this CDJ, but it's still running in perfect time with this. So basically what this means, I'll show you in a minute, we'll do one mix before we go, and you'll see me, I can be in the mix. It means you can do feedback loops on the fly without having to worry about setting cue points. If I hit bypass here, you'll see where we are on the track actually. So you can see we're actually in a breakdown. So I'm just going to let that run for a few seconds. It looks like we're coming to the end of the breakdown, so I'm going to start cutting it up and then I'll show you. You can just hit bypass and we can jump straight back into the track and it's all in time. There we go. Hit bypass and we're straight back into it. We never hit stop on the CDJ, so this is still in perfect time. You can imagine you're in the mix and your tracks are still in perfect phase. So we'll do that, we'll have a quick mix right now and we'll show you how to